Hello, friends. This little girl, I'm pretty sure she's a hen, a pullet, which is, you're a pullet when you're no longer a chick, but you're not a hen yet. You have to lay an egg to be a hen. Pullet is like a teenage hen, not ready to lay eggs yet. Well, over a week ago, she broke a leg. One of my dogs got her. Haven't been able to convince Houston not to play with the chickens. He doesn't try to kill chickens, he just wants to play. And she got in there and he grabbed her leg, and I'm pretty sure it got broken. If it didn't get broken, then tendons or something were damaged, because it was just hanging there. She had no control over it. And I grabbed the vet wrap and I splinted her leg. It seemed to be damaged really close up to the body. Overall she seemed okay. In the fact that she was eating and drinking. Animals do tend to hide their any injuries or illnesses and stuff, so it can be tough. But she was eating and drinking, but she had zero use of that leg, and but she could fly and everything and hop. But I knew for her survival, she needed to be in an enclosed environment close to food and water, so that she would have time to heal and not be attacked by any of the other birds, chickens and stuff. When you have a homestead, when you have a whole bunch of animals, you have to learn how to vet those animals yourselves. Now, obviously, some things, if you need surgery, spaying and neutering dogs, serious things, you got to go to a vet. But it gets, things like a chicken, or other animals, they may not be, the expense of going to the vet, the time involved going to the vet, and often a vet can't even do anything. A lot of people don't have access to a vet that even would know how to take care of a chicken or a goat or anything else. A lot of people live in areas where literally the only vets available nearby only take care of cats and dogs. They will not take care of chickens and goats and sheep and cows and other animals. So you have no choice. You must tend to your animals yourself. And so if you're going to have chickens, you're going to have goats, you're going to have ducks and geese, any other animals like that, you need to have medical supplies on hand. And if you don't know what to do, have access. That's one thing that the internet is great about. I can immediately go to poultry groups and ask for help. I can look online how to splint a chicken's leg. I did call my vet, which is, they're over 100 miles away, and ask the best way to splint the leg. And, and what I could give her for pain and stuff. Even though she wasn't acting like she was in pain, I was pretty sure she probably was in pain. But, the message here is that, hopefully this little girl will get well and be able, she may not be able to walk. I have no idea if I splinted that leg properly or not. It was pretty close to the body. So I did the best I could. And hopefully, she'll make a full recovery and either have a permanent limp or not even show any evidence of a problem and be able to, lay eggs and do everything just fine. If she had been injured more severely, in fact, since she got injured, I found one of my rabbits, and that rabbit was dying. I'm not sure what was wrong with the rabbit. I saw no wounds, so I'm assuming it got sick with all this rain and everything. I really don't know what was wrong. I decided not to attempt a necropsy, which is an animal autopsy. The rabbit was not dead, but it was close. And so I put it I called it. I put it out of its misery. I put it down immediately. And if you're going to have animals, if you're going to homestead, whether it's a city homestead, rural homestead, whatever, and if you're going to have chickens or rabbits or goat, any kind of animal, you have to have, join Facebook groups if you're on Facebook. Join, there are YouTube channels where, some people are very, very expert in goats or chickens or ducks or something. Have those connections. Even if the closest vet that tends to these kinds of animals happens to be 200-300 miles away, have their number available so you can at least call them and ask for advice if necessary. Educate yourself on what to do. How to tell if the animal has parasites or is sick, what the symptoms are of different illnesses. And have supplies. So often people will post in some of the Facebook groups I'm in and say, my goat won't get up. What do I do? And they don't even have a thermometer to read the goat's temperature. And that's if you can't take care of those animals, if you're not willing to buy a thermometer for your animals or have the supplies on hand to take care of the animal in an emergency, you shouldn't have the animals in the first place. These animals are going to get hurt. They're going to get sick. Things are going to happen, and you need to be able to take care of them. And so, when this little girl got injured, it was tough, but I managed to catch her. Her wings were not injured, believe me. And I caught her, and I wrapped her leg up with vet wrap against her body to support it. And it's been over a week, probably about a week and a half by now. And I just undid everything, and she kind of needed a little bath in her behind area, so I did that. Cleaned out her, I have a warped ice chest in my kitchen. And I have that. I keep it all the time. It's in an out-of-the-way place. I just keep it there prepared for any emergency that I may have. And so every time there is an emergency, I can immediately grab the animal and bring them in. Now, obviously, I can't do a full-grown adult goat, but I brought in kids, newborn kids. Last spring, I had premature triplets. I brought them in immediately, and it's just a place I can immediately put animals and take care of them until they're better or well enough to go back outside. She's going to stay in the house for another few weeks until I feel like she's well enough to be able to fend for herself out there. But I just wanted to share, this little hen got hurt, and part of homesteading is taking care of injured animals and having the supplies on hand. I already had the vet wrap on hand. I went online and I made phone calls to figure out what to do for her. I've been taking care of her. And if you're going to have animals, that's what you got to do. Finally, I've been working to try to tame this girl and make her more used to me and not scared of me. I've been picking her up every day and petting her and caressing her. And I'd like to give her a name, but everything I think about, all the names I really like, I want to save for goats. And so I just haven't come up with anything that really appeals to me that says that's this chicken's name. So if you have any ideas, please put it in the comments. And if you have livestock animals, get supplies, make up a medical chest. I use an old dresser I got secondhand that I keep all the supplies for all my animals in. It's separate than the human beings. And I have it stocked. Because, things can happen on a Sunday when everything's closed. It can happen at 3 in the morning when things are closed. when it can happen in the middle of the week when there's a bad storm taking place and you cannot drive to a pet store, or I mean a feed store or tractor supply or whatever to get supplies. And sometimes the difference between life and death is seconds. It's minutes. By the time you drive to the store to get whatever it is you don't have on hand, that animal could die, and it's because you did not have that item in hand to take care of it. Maybe the animal would have lived if you'd already had whatever it is you need on hand. Or you've caused unnecessary suffering. I mean, how would you like to break your leg and need it splinted or need a pain medication and be told, I'll be back in an hour or I'll be back in 30 minutes? You don't want to hear that. You want relief. And the same goes for your animals. So if you have animals, no matter what kind of animals they are, even a dog and cat, you should at least have a thermometer so you can take the temperature, so you know what the temperature is to tell the vet or to make the decision whether you need to go to the vet or not. Just have medical supplies on hand. And if you're planning on getting animals, that needs to be part of your preparation, that you start a first aid kit for your animals. Hope this was informative and helpful, and like I've asked, if you've got an idea for a name for this little hen or pullet, please share it with me. And hopefully she'll make a full recovery and I can, in a few weeks, put her back with the rest of the flock. Until then, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.